For 34 years, the yogurt shop murders haunted Austin, Texas. It was a horrifying cold case with two sets of victims.
One of our patrol officers called in to dispatch smoke coming out from, I can't believe it's yogurt. Fire department got here shortly thereafter. What we found in the back there was we found 4 victims.
The first were the 4 teenage girls murdered on that cold December night. Hey everyone, I'm Juju Bean, and welcome back to Juju's Crime Watch. Tonight, we are telling the complete story of one of America's most infamous cold cases. For the first time, we can tell the full story from beginning to end. We will honor the 4 incredible young women who lost their lives. We will break down the horrific crime, the decades of false starts, and the tragic journey of the innocent men who were blamed. And finally, we will unmask the real killer, Robert Eugene Brashers. To understand the immense loss of December 6, 1991, you have to understand the vibrant lives that were taken. Before the yogurt shop became a landmark of tragedy, it was just a place, a suburban hangout where kids from the local high schools would get a sweet treat after a football game. On Friday, December 6, 1991, 4 girls were inside, getting ready to close up shop, completely unaware of the darkness that was about to descend. To feel the true weight of this case, you first have to know who they were. Eliza Thomas, at 17, was a force of nature. A senior at Lanier High School, she was known for being exceptionally bright, with a sharp wit and a compassionate heart. Her true passion was animals. She worked part-time at a veterinary clinic, and her dream was to become a veterinarian. Her family remembers her as fiercely independent and responsible. The Harbison sisters, Jennifer at 17 and Sarah at 15, shared an incredible bond. Jennifer, a junior, was the quieter of the two, a sweet, artistic soul who loved music and drawing. Sarah, a freshman, was bubbly and energetic. That night, their parents dropped Sarah off at the shop to help Jennifer clean up so they could go home together. A simple act of family that ended in tragedy. At just 13, Amy Ayers was the youngest, a spark of energy in the 8th grade. She was best friends with Jennifer Harbison and had tagged along to the shop to hang out. She was known for her infectious laugh and a smile that could light up a room. She was on the very cusp of her life, full of promise. Just before midnight, an Austin police officer saw smoke coming from the I Can't Believe It's Yogurt shop. Firefighters discovered a scene of pure horror. The 4 girls were in the back, bound, gagged, and murdered. The fire had been set to destroy evidence, and the water used to fight it further compromised the crime scene. The city was gripped by fear. A monster was on the loose, and the police were under immense pressure. But the chaotic scene yielded few clues, except for one: a small sample of male DNA. In 1991, it was a clue that couldn't point to a suspect, and the case went cold. In 1999, after 8 years of dead ends, police arrested 4 young men: Robert Springsteen, Michael Scott, Morris Pierce, and Forrest Wheelock. They were teenagers who knew each other from the local mall, and they fit a loose profile. This is where the story of the second set of victims begins. The case against them was built almost entirely on coerced confessions from Scott and Springsteen after hours of grueling, psychologically manipulative interrogations.
Somebody with mine? But is that the gun you walked up behind somebody with and shot in the head?
Michael Scott was interrogated for hours on end, without a lawyer present for much of it. Detectives allegedly fed him details of the crime scene that weren't public knowledge. Exhausted and confused, Scott began to incorporate these details into a rambling, speculative confession that seemed credible to outsiders. Robert Springsteen was similarly pressured. His confession was full of inconsistencies that contradicted the known evidence, but police focused only on the parts that fit their theory. Both men would later recant, stating they only told the detectives what they wanted to hear to make the interrogation stop. Springsteen and Scott spent nearly a decade in prison, losing their youth to a crime they did not commit. Maurice Pierce and Forrest Wheelock lived for years as accused murderers. In 2009, a DNA bombshell proved their innocence. The crime scene sample did not match any of them. Their convictions were overturned, and they were finally exonerated.
Wonderful, and I'd like to thank God and my families and my attorney for this opportunity. Thank you.
Tragically, Maurice Pierce was killed in an unrelated incident a year later. The other 3 men sued the city, eventually settling for $3.4 million, small compensation for a decade of lost life. The ordeal also became a powerful example used by reformers, contributing to a 2017 Texas state law mandating the electronic recording of custodial interrogations. The journey of this case is an incredible story of tragedy and the power of truth. If you believe these stories need to be told, please hit that like button to support the channel. It makes a huge difference. Thank you. After the exonerations, the case was cold again. The central clue was the DNA of a ghost. For years, it sat in a database, unmatched, but that ghost had a history. Unbeknownst to the Austin police, their killer had been active across the country. He targeted women and girls, often in situations where they were alone and vulnerable. The earliest crime officially linked to Brashers is the murder of Orna E. Villa in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Villa, a 34-year-old mother, was found strangled in her apartment. For years, the case went cold with no suspects. It wasn't until years after Brasher's death that his DNA, which had been collected from other crime scenes, was finally matched to evidence left at the Villa murder scene. This established a pattern of him being in different parts of the country, committing similar crimes. Brasher's predatory behavior continued. In 1997, his DNA was linked to the brutal rape of a 14-year-old girl in Tennessee. This attack demonstrated that his crimes were not limited to murder and that he targeted young victims. The fact that he was still active and moving between states 6 years after the Yogurt Shop massacre shows how he was able to evade capture. In 1998, Brashers committed another double murder in Missouri. He was linked to the killings of a mother and her daughter, again showing a pattern of targeting women and families. It was this string of crimes in the Midwest that finally put law enforcement on his trail and led to the final confrontation. The man leaving this trail of terror was Robert Eugene Brashers. The final manhunt for him began in Missouri. In January 1999, when police tracked him to a motel and attempted an arrest, Brashers took his own life. At the time, they had no idea he was also the Austin yogurt shop killer. His death left a trail of unanswered questions. But thanks to DNA, it didn't keep his secrets buried forever. The connection remained a secret for nearly 2 more decades. The breakthrough came in 2018. Renowned genealogist C.C. Moore and Parabon Nanolabs took the ghost profile and uploaded it to public genealogy databases. They got a hit, a distant relative. Meticulously building a family tree from that match, they traced the genetic lines down through generations until they landed on one name, Robert Eugene Brashers. To get a perfect sample, prosecutors in Missouri had his remains exhumed from a cemetery in Arkansas. The DNA extracted from his bones was a perfect match to the profile from South Carolina, Tennessee, and Missouri. On Friday, September 26, 2025, the Austin Police Department finally got the news they'd been waiting for.
We now have evidence linking a specific individual to this case, Robert Eugene Brashers. The only physical evidence located at that scene has been matched to him.
The definitive profile of Robert Brashers was a match to the DNA from the yogurt shop. The ghost finally had a name. We finally have the complete story. A story of a brutal predator, Robert Brashers, who moved through the country like a phantom.
Police knocked on my door and gave me their police cards and showed me that they were from Kennett, Missouri. And that's where my father killed himself at. They're like, your father's one of 50 people that we have spoken with, and he may be involved in crimes of 2 murders, one in South Carolina and one in Missouri. I held my father on a pedestal for a very long time because I didn't think he was this evil person. I just thought he had mental health issues and he couldn't deal with it anymore. I never thought that he had psychotic issues that he dealt with that we didn't know about. I'm very sorry to every family that my father hurt. I know it is not my place at all to tell you I'm sorry, but someone has to, because he wasn't sorry for it.
A story of 4 innocent men who were caught in the wake of that phantom and whose suffering ultimately led to systemic change. And most importantly, the story of 4 bright lights: Eliza, Jennifer, Sarah, and Amy, who were stolen from the world far too soon. While Brashers will never face a jury, his identification brings a measure of peace and finality to everyone his crimes touched. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive. Let's take a moment to remember all the victims in the comments below. Eliza Thomas, Jennifer Harbison, Sarah Harbison, and Amy Ayers, and the innocent men who suffered for so long.